Well, I would be inclined to say good morning, but that doesn't seem appropriate this morning. Though we are still gathering information, it is clear that last night our city experienced incredible tragedy, one fueled by senseless violence. In the blink of an eye, 4 young lives have been lost, victims of a cycle of pain and hopelessness that has become all too common in our city and other urban areas across the country. As Indianapolis begins today with a prayerful mourning for the families of these victims and, frankly, for our public safety community, let me be clear. We can never allow ourselves to become numb to the scourge of gun violence and the toll that it is taking on whole generations of young people. This is not acceptable. This is not who we are as a city. This isn't who we are as neighbors, as brothers, as sisters, as fathers, as mothers. This is not normal. And like so many in Indianapolis, I am heartbroken to have IMPD stand once more and give a briefing on a violent night. But I also want to be clear about something else. We can and we will turn this sadness and reflection into a community call to action. Action. Nothing said by any of us or anyone outside this room does anything to help our young people unless it leads to action. Because despite millions of dollars in taxpayer investments, in policing, and in neighborhood anti-violence initiatives in recent years, time and time again, we are confronted with the ripple effects created by a proliferation of guns, drugs, and poverty in our neighborhoods. Local government has created committees, commissions, and funded studies. We've heard from subject matter experts and adopted best practices. We've hired hundreds of new officers. We've equipped our department with new technology, bolstered witness protection, and doubled funding for anti-violence groups. We face a challenge that traces its path across generations and through neighborhoods. But at its core, it's never going to be solved by government alone. And it certainly will not be solved by politics. What we are confronted with is a question of who we are as a people. What we are confronted with are broken hearts and lost souls. After years of plans and appropriations, it is clear the work to mend those wounds will take place in classrooms, in church basements, in community centers, as much as it will inside the walls of the city-county building. There are no opponents over this issue. We all want this solved, especially the families of the young people who fear violence daily. And I share their frustrations. I share their anger of so many this morning. But I remain confident that our path toward peace will require open hearts, not clenched fists. Let us resolve that these mindless acts are unconscionable but not unstoppable. Let us come together as one city to pursue the changes in hearts, minds, and policies that will make our community safer for all of the residents of Indianapolis.